Hello. Hopefully this is all working and we are actually live. I'm just looking down at my phone because I'm using that to check and see what we're up to and see that it is actually working. Um, Apparently it is not. Okay. It should be working. We should be doing stuff. Oh, we were. Okay. Okay, we have people. We have. Okay. It would also help if I turn my volume on. Wow, that is a really severe lag. Okay, right. We're trying something new today. I haven't used. Oh, here we go. It's now working. Can you hear me? I see you, Dance Storm. Hello. Haven't seen you in a while. Can you hear me okay? Is everything good? I'm just really like I feel like I'm streaming for the first time. But it has been a good. I don't think I streamed in Australia, did I? So yeah, it's been like 8 months since I last did any kind of streaming. I feel like I'm a newbie and I'm trying something new. I'm on Restream instead of StreamYard this time. So yeah, hopefully you can all like I've got confirmation you can see me. Yes. Okay, good. Whew. Right. So I'm not going to talk for too long because obviously most people are expecting in the morning. No, it's because I just said morning because I just read Christina. Good morning. Hello. Hi. But like intros, a bit about Adventurerathon, welcoming properly, we will do in sort of 15 minutes because, like I said, I did put the original post for 6 o'clock to start, so in 15 minutes. So just as a quick warm up, and while I'm testing everything, we're going to do a 15-minute like warm up sprint. So use that time if you're here early and have joined me early. Use that time to grab yourself some refreshments, grab your books, chat and have a chat. And if you are here early, if this is your first Adventurerathon, let us know. If you've been here a while, let us know. So yeah, we're just going to kind of go straight into that and just do a 15-minute little sprint. And then we will be back like momentarily. So bear with me. Hello. Let's stop that timer going and bring me, no. It's going to take a while to figure this one out. Bear with. I've also learned there is a 20-second delay between me talking. There we go. Got it. Yeah, there is a 20-second delay between me talking now and when it actually is showing either on my phone or on my web browser. So that's not really a thing that I'm enjoying. But I imagine if I pay for a subscription, it will, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe it will give me less of a lag. But anyway, hello. Hi. How's everybody doing? Hopefully we've had a few more people join during that sprint. For those who have joined, I basically just ended up being ready to go earlier than planned. So I thought, screw it, let's do a quick 15-minute sprint. And it also allowed me to kind of make sure everything was working, make sure that, you know, you had sound, make sure that you have everything like that. And apparently it seems to all be working. I do want to ask, did you hear the alarm when the like the little chimes went off then? Did you guys hear it? Because, you know, I just want to make sure everything's working. Of course, a helicopter's going to go overhead right now. Rude. Shh. There is no way that these doors are getting closed anytime soon because it is 27 degrees, which has been quite nice, but it did start to get a little bit too warm for comfort about an hour ago. So I've opened all of the windows and the doors because I refuse to put the aircon on just yet. So yeah, when we have like a week of heat, I will put the air conditioning on. But when it's just like 1 or 2 days, I refuse because no. So hello, welcome to Adventurerathon. I'm Kirsty, if you are new here, aka Beth Bookish, and we would normally have my co-host Jonah, but as we can see from this message, he abandoned us. But no, social life got in the way. I think it was like someone's birthday and his sibling is visiting, things like that. So, you know, I'm never going to hold that against him. But it is always my sort of goal and almost duty at this point that on the first day I always do sprints just to kickstart things. Now, today's sprints I will only probably do 2, maybe 3 overall, and I aim to stop around about 9 p.m. but I will be doing full sprints on Sunday and it will be me and Jonah, and so there we'll be starting at like 10 a.m. going through till about 4 p.m. or about 4:30, and then that gives me 30 minutes to grab some food and everything before I watch Steph's sprints. So yay, that is kind of the plan. So if these sprints are a bit too short for you or you're not able to even stay for these ones, then just be aware that those are coming. And I do have plans to have more sprints throughout the readathon, I hope. So let me know in the comments if this is your first time here, and even if it's not, what book have you started with? How's your reading going? I have Prince and Assassin because I was going through my stack of books earlier and I was going, hey, so what do I want to start with? And then remembered my own readathon rules and was like, oh yeah, I have to start with this because that is the rule. Note to self, don't inhale your own. Don't inhale. You might choke. I also apologise. I think my neighbours are about to start having a party or an argument. But yeah, Prince and Assassin is basically, the basic premise is an assassin who has been sent to protect a prince and is then ultimately supposed to kill him, only he falls in love instead. So I'm very, very excited to get to this. I've only read like the first 2 pages, and then I remembered I needed to post about the readathon and the sprints. So yeah, right, let's go through some comments, because I'm sort of talking a little bit more than normal to try and like give time for people to actually join, and also for comments to come through, because like I said, for some weird reason there is a very big lag. As Jonah says, remember to hydrate. Yeah, boop the like button. Hi Levy, how are you? Howell, hello. Oh, good. That is a relief. I'm glad, because, you know, obviously I want you guys to hear the timer and not have me scare the crap out of you every time we come back. Start on my optional since main book quest still at the library. Rude. Breaking the rules. Oh, but that one I'll accept. That's a valid exception to that rule. Awesome. Did hear the chime. Helpful, Levy. Helpful. Ooh, let me know what you think. I have thoughts on that series, so it will be interesting to see how you fall on that scale. Like most, that makes it sound really bad. It's just like most of the Carry On series I absolutely loved, and then didn't love it by the end, let's just say. Oh, don't forget, once you've posted your TBR, you are locked in, which, you know, I posted my TBR earlier today, so if you haven't seen that yet, please do check that out. But I've posted my TBR and I was like, this is going to be interesting. And it's like, I deliberately didn't mention a few books because I was kind of like, if I don't get to them, I can't punish myself. We love working the system. Had to finish the last 55 pages for last month, then starting Obsidio for this TBR. Is that the J. Christoph, Amy Kaufman series? I can't remember the name of it. Illuminate? Tried to say Illumicrate then. No, Illuminate. Is that the series, or have I got that wrong? Either way, good luck with your last 55 pages. Tired. Came back from a cycling trip. Ooh, nice. Bit of a warm day for that, right? I imagine it was warm for you guys as well over on the continent. Hey, let's hope it goes a little bit better than the previous one and you don't end up DNFing the series. I have faith in your reading and in the book. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. You know that any of these rules and things, you know, like, even though I say you have to read the main one first, you know, I'm very kind of chilled about a lot of things. So, you know, that one I don't mind. Take your time. Right. So I'm allowed to say a little bit. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil things for anyone else, but so I can say that the first book was 5 stars. I loved it. Like, I read Fangirl and fell in love with that because it just encapsulated so many of the things that I used to do and how I felt as a fanfic writer when I was sort of 17, 18. And when I went to university, I struggled to connect with people. And one of my kind of things I used to do was write fan fiction. So, you know, definitely I really connected strongly with that. And then I really loved Carry On. And then I won't talk about the other two. But hope you enjoy. Oh, God. Guys, stop yelling at each other. I should probably mute whatever that is that's bleeping. Someone's bleeping at me. Rude. Hey, nice. I mean, manga and queer are great, and especially when it's queer manga. Actually, no. It's a thing that I've repeated multiple times, but I have a bit of a thing with queer manga because a lot of the time it is not well written and is very harmful to the LGBT community. And I have huge issues with trying to find good, well written queer manga. I will be doing a video in the next sort of 6 months or so. I'm just trying to finish off a couple of series right now. And as soon as I finish those, I will be doing a video where I'm like, here are actual good queer manga recs that aren't harmful and don't promote SA as like a plot device for everything. So yeah, if you're interested in some queer manga recs, that will be coming soon. But yeah, my TBR this month, I think, is I've definitely got shorter reads in there. Like this one is where are we at? It's 277, but the writing is quite big. So, I should hopefully get that done by the end of this week. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be restarting Promise of Blood because I started it last month. And then Jonah was like, I really want to read it again. So we've now decided to do a buddy read of it. So he's now caught up to where I got to, which was chapter 5. So we're going to continue that on Sunday. So my aim is to get this done by then, and I'm determined to get out of this damn slump that I've been in, because it's ridiculous that in January I read 5 books, I think it was, or 6, and then February was 1, March was 1, April was 2. At least my graphic novel and manga reading has been pretty consistent, but yeah, I definitely, for considering my goal is 75 books and I'm still only on 7. Yeah, girl's in trouble. I flew too close to the sun. I got too ambitious. Do it. Do it. Do it. Basically, whenever we come back from sprints for this, I will just be like, hey, Levy, have you posted it yet? So just do it. Here for support and vibes. Desperate reading on the Sunday because I have a meeting soon. Yeah, I hope your meeting goes well. I know you've mentioned it in on the sort of group chat, so I hope it all goes well and not too mentally draining for you. But yeah, Sunday should be good, and it'll be quite chaotic because I'm pretty tame when I'm on my own. I have the odd moment of, self-inflicted chaos, but once Jonah's here, it usually devolves very, very quickly. And I don't know about Sunday, but certainly other sprints through the month, I'll probably be like, hey, Levy, you want to join? James, want to join? And yeah, then it really gets chaotic. Chaotic. Let's just go with that. Read up to page 72 of our buddy read, which means nothing given that we have 2 different languages going on. Yeah, your German books are like a third of the length of of English. Yeah, because German's not regular. But yeah, German books and German words are a lot longer than a lot of English words, so their books tend to be a lot longer, which makes me glad to not be a native German speaker. Or any kind of German speaker, really. Right, yeah, okay, awesome. Thought it was. It's like poke, poke, poke. Yeah, exactly. Like I won't read or promote the author now because I'm aware of some of the problematic behaviors and issues around her and her writing. However, I read Fangirl and Carry On before all of that came to light. And so it's one of those where it's like, probably won't reread it. And I don't promote it. Like, even if it fits prompts, I don't suggest it. But it is a book that is always going to have a place as like one that really resonated with me and had a character that I really strongly connected with. And yeah, it definitely does encapsulate that kind of feeling, not only of being a fanfic writer, but also looking at how people perceive fanfic writers. And also, I connected really closely with the whole having a single parent that's also quite ill and struggling with loneliness and separation and things like that. So, yeah, I felt it on multiple levels. You feel it. Oh, I can't show you, but Ginty's asleep on the step outside and she looks so cute. It's finally warm enough for her to sleep outdoors and she is loving it. Like, tiny local library had a queer sapphic manga. Ooh. Good luck with that translation. What manga is it? Yay, bullying works, people. Peer pressure and bullying, it works. We are chaos incarnate here. Not a bad idea. He'll be like, what's Adventurerathon? And I'll be like, really? Wow, mine, it's like 270 pages more than mine, I think. I don't want to get up because I'm quite warm, I just rolled my pajamas all the way up to my thighs to try and get some cool air on them. So if I stand up, it's just going to look ridiculous. But I think, yeah, English Promise of Blood is like 550. Awesome. Saturday was going to be the day for like the all day sprints, but I am not around. I am spending the day with my nieces, which is going to be really lovely. Jonah's internet, you better work. Yeah, you should probably. I'm kind of regretting picking a book. I would have preferred to have started with a manga because 9 out of 10 readathons these days, I choose a manga for like my first book that I'm going to read because, you know, just at the minute, manga is so much more accessible for me. Like today, I did start with My Hero Academia. Technically, I was finishing off my last Aurelian prompt, but, you know, I read My Hero Academia and it just kind of got me in the mood to start reading. Unfortunately, it then got really hot and now it's like my head's a little bit fuzzy because whenever I get hot, that is like prime migraine time. So we're gonna see how it goes. I have preemptively taken meds. I should be okay, touch wood. Oh, I have wood here. Hee hee. My laptop is sat on a little wooden thing. So, you know, I have all the stuff. We shall just see if my body decides to cope. I'll have to look that one up. It's definitely over 500. It's closer. I do not want to get up. I know my copy is definitely well over 500. Yeah, 545. So, yeah. I mean, it's still not 770. That's insane. Right, okay. I think now would be a good time to get into a sprint. I'm going to do slightly shorter sprints so we can try and get a few more in rather than do come on, brain, because I'm trying to do 5 things at once right now. Right. Let me refresh my thoughts, my speech. I'm going to do slightly shorter sprints so that we can try and instead of only doing 2, we can get maybe 3 sprints in, have 3 little chats. But we will see how we go. You have plus 235, not minus. I have minus 235 pages on you. Is that right? I don't know. Either way, yeah, there is a big difference. Like, it's like, what, almost 30%, 40% difference. Like, that's insane. So, yeah, if you haven't yet told us what you're reading, let us know. I'm going to set up the screen and we will. There we go. No, I want to. I want to be small. Make me small. There we go. I'm tiny again. Hi. He's so tiny. Okay. I've devolved into silly voices and yeah. Oh, I didn't recognize that it was squiggly. To my eyes, it looked like a straight line, but my eyes are a bit squiggly, so everything, yeah, goes weird. Gonna get dinner and probably, yeah, no worries. Go do your thing. Go avoid us. Hey, where did you share it? It's not in the chat. It's not in the Discord. Or have you shared it online, like on your social media? Right, okay, so let's refresh that. So should, there we go. I'm just going to do it on the break. That'll do. Right. Oh, good timing. Hello, hello. Currently reading If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. Nice. I've never heard of that one, but I'm glad you're enjoying it. We are just about to go into a sprint. Yeah, someone clearly doesn't know how to translate if that's ever happening. Maybe you guys should do what the Australians do and just like abbreviate and shorten every single word. Like, it was so funny. There were the amount of times when I was over there where I was like, wait, what? What does that mean? Hey, there we go. Thank you, Levy. Now, you've done it. Right, anyway, we're going to do 45 minutes. And hopefully you'll get plenty of reading done. But if you're not reading, let us know what you're getting up to. Jonah, go have fun and enjoy your evening, and I'll see you all in 45 minutes. Hello, welcome back. I swear I have a curse on me because just before I started the live, I said to my uncle that I felt the air was getting really heavy, and I was like, I think my head is going to go, and I can feel a migraine starting to try and creep in. And I was like, oh, it's probably just because we've had quite a hot day today. And then I was like, no, I've got a funny feeling we may end up with a bit of a storm. Looked on the weather app, nowhere, anywhere in the country did it say anything to do with like lightning or thunder or anything like that. And I was like, well, maybe, I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just dreaming it up. I then suddenly, during that sprint, I started to really not feel very well. So I disappeared off for a bit to try and like cool down. I had a cup of coffee to help with my head. Sounds counterproductive, but it does work. So yeah, I got myself coffee, sat outside where it was a little bit cooler. And all of a sudden, and then I put the fan on behind me, like you can see the unit here. And then all of a sudden I went, I think I hear a grumble. Looked up at the sky. There's no sign anywhere of any sort of storm. So then I went to the trusty dusty lightning map website that I'm going to show you now. So this website that is so fun. And you see all these lights that are currently flashing up, and you've got Litchfield right here. I live here. And you can see we've got a little dot to the right of us, but and in the last 20 minutes, that has moved from sort of further this way, and it's swept very quickly across. So it's not going to be long. And some of these, like the bands you can see coming out, they sort of show the distance that the sound is traveling from the thunder. So those little like grumbles that I convinced myself were probably not thunderstorm. And I had kind of gaslit myself into thinking it's not going to be that. Looks like it is. So that would explain why in the last hour I have gone from feeling hot but not great, but now hot and really not great. And oh, okay. So yeah, but the reason I say I'm cursed is because this is probably, I think, the third or fourth time that I've gone live in a row where we've ended up with thunder and lightning. Well, we haven't yet, but I've heard a couple of, just one day I will get to do a live and everything will be calm. Like my brain will be calm, my body will not do. But then again, that is the reality of having chronic illnesses, I guess. Anyway, I'm so sorry for that rant. I just needed to offload that because I'm just like, are you kidding me? Genuinely, all day, I've felt really good. I've been really ready for this. I've had a really good night's sleep last night. I've been like, I can't wait for sprints. And then as soon as sprints have started, my body's just gone, and we're dead. Please no. Please no. So yeah. Anyway, let me know what you all got up to. I started Prince and Assassin, and I'm on page 34. So, also hilariously, if you keep seeing things drifting around behind me, it's because I've had the door open and all of the pollen is coming in. Like the entire neighborhood's pollen. So my hay fever has also been an absolute the last couple of days. It's all good. We're falling apart, but we are keeping it together. Barely. Anyway, so yeah, I've got the first two chapters. So basically, we've had a POV chapter from each of the main characters, and I like that we've already got a really good understanding of who these characters are. So our assassin is called Whisper, and he's a very protective kind of guy. You can tell he is very there's one of the other assassins in this place in particular who's only a young girl, and he's really taken her under his wing. he has decided that because after their 6th job that they complete, they are granted like this boon, and they were saying that the majority of them choose to leave, and that is, it means that the contract that they are held to is null and void. And so he, when he is asked by father, like, what do you want your boon to be? He's like, I want you to let her go. And father goes, great, cool. You want to give up your freedom for hers? That's great. But if you fail this job, it's her life that's forfeit instead of yours. And he's like, wait, what? So, you know, more motivation to get this job right. And then we switch POVs to the prince, who's kind of seen as this like playboy. And like everyone kind of has this opinion of him that he'll just like sleep around and he doesn't take life seriously. But almost immediately we get the idea from him that that is just a front, and that he has deliberately curated that persona for people to think that that's who he is, so that he can, you know, do the planning and scheming without people being like, oh, he's actually this, you know? So I'm enjoying the stuff so far. Like I said, though, my head did start to get a bit fuzzy, and I started to, like, I was trying to focus on the words, but the more I focused on the page, the more stabby my brain started to go. So I switched it up a little bit, and instead I have started to do some editing. I recorded a bit of an update video yesterday. It's about 20 minutes long so far, so I'm hoping to get it down to about 15 minutes. And it's just a bit of an update on some life stuff and things like I've made the decision to close my Patreon for now, just giving some business updates, but also I'm talking about like mental health and stuff, because those of you who know me personally and know me sort of in sort of casual set groups already know this, but those of you that don't, I realized recently that my depression is back, and it's presenting in a different way than it's presented in the past. And I'm like, oh. So yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff going on around that. And so I've just done a video where I've just sort of talked about it and been like, you know, there's going to be some changes coming to the channel. I'm going to be reducing how many videos I do, things like that. So I just thought, right, let's just get started on editing that. And that was when the timer went off. Well, I ran upstairs just before to be like, hey, uncle, you know, I said that I thought we might end up with a storm, and you were like, nah, that's not going to happen. Ha! I was right. That's kind of the relationship we have, is just kind of, you know, in a like a bantery fun way, we're always sort of trying to prove the other one wrong. And we both like to be right. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys all got up to. I keep rambling, but you know. Right, we have right back to the start. I'm gonna switch books because one of the books I chose for the prompts is Next in the World. Oh, right. So sort of like a book. Right. Okay. Yeah. That took me a second. I was like, is it because it's the next one in the series or the one after it? But awesome. Mercedes Lackey, that's an author I've heard of. She's been around for like forever, right? Hasn't she been publishing since like the 70s or 80s or something? But she's not someone that I've ever read. So maybe I should give her a try at some point. Christina, hello, if you're still around. Yes. Hydrate. I need to do that. After drinking a cup of coffee, I should probably now drink the remainder of my water. Have a snack. If you need a snack, go take a snack. Take a snack, grab a snack. Check your laundry. That seems to have suddenly become a thing that I'm seeing across everyone's lives. It's quite funny. Everyone reminding each other to do their laundry. See, I'm one of the anomalous ADHDers, in that I actually do my laundry every single week. I regularly do it. I love laundry. It's weirdly one of my favorite things in the world to do. I love the process. I love like moving it from the washer to the dryer and then sometimes out on the line. And don't know, I go into like this little meditative state when I do it, and I love doing laundry. Where I fail is putting laundry away. Usually I will wash my laundry, I will dry my laundry, I'll put it in the basket, take it upstairs, and then 2 weeks later the dirty pile goes into the now empty basket because I've just lived out of that for 2 weeks or a week. But the setup that I'm going for in my room, because I'm going to be getting some new furniture in my bedroom soon, and my plan is to take out the chest of drawers for my clothes so that I can put a desk in and have like a proper desk setup and do my lives and stuff from there. And I'm going to make it all cozy and almost like a gaming setup. Sorry, I got a bit of skin, like a skin tag or something. Yeah. So I'm going to take out the chest of drawers, which means that currently the empty part of my wardrobe that I use to dump the dirty laundry in, that's no longer going to be a space, because that space is going to have a little half width dresser, chest of drawers. And so that little space where at the minute I just throw the dirty clothes, that's no longer going to be there. And I will not just throw dirty clothes on the floor. So I'm going to have to put stuff away, because otherwise it's going to have nowhere else to go. And yeah, so I'm hoping that I can trick myself into being more organized. But yes, if you haven't done your laundry and you need to, go check it. Or if it's in the dryer and you haven't put it in, or if it's still sitting in the machine, go rewash it if it needs it. Check on your clothes, people. And yes, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not already. 46 pages of Carry On. Woo, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's like what? Almost just over a page a minute. That's awesome. Progress made with book. Yes. Heat lightning sounds like, if no rainstorm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just sort of like an electric storm kind of thing from the heat. I have a fascination for storms, like partly from being a geography teacher, and I used to quite often get my kids to do like a weather profile, and I used to get them to go to that website. So but sometimes I would just put it on the TV just to have on, because it's just, I like to see where, I like tracking where in the world there's storms going on. But I've always had a fascination for storms and like what makes them work. For years I dreamt of either becoming a meteorologist or I wanted to go out and be a storm chaser in America, because I don't know if any of you ever watched it, but I can't remember the name of the show now, but back in like the mid 2000s, his name was George Coronis, something like that. And it was through National Geographic. He had his own channel and his own show where they went storm chasing. And I was like, I want to do that. But then it kind of became a bit of a fad and a bit popular. And then it was kind of like, actually, no, I don't want to do that. And then I realized how much physics would be involved if I wanted to be a meteorologist. And I was like, my brain does not have enough capacity to deal with physics. So I became an ecologist instead. Which was a whole different using my brain, because DNA is not a very easy thing to process either, but I got there in the end. Yeah, just chronic illness be chronic illnessing. Yeah. Yep, the pollen. I just find it amusing that I'm sat here, and it's not so much now, but a minute ago I could literally see it coming in and being like, ooh, like, no, go away. You know, sometimes there's bits of floof. The floof is now back inside, but she's moved from the step just outside the back door to the cushion just inside the back door. I now have Stray Kids playing in my head. But yeah, getting hit by the thoughts I had when I first read this, such as like how it said in the beginning, how yeah there's a lot of stuff in that book, but it was good. No worries, glad you're back. Hope they enjoyed their lunch. Oh no, not you too. Like, It's like, that weird thing when you find someone that has the same kind of problems that you're having and you're like, yay, migraine buddy. Oh no, migraine buddy, because you don't want anyone to experience it, because why would you want anyone else to go through that pain and go through that problem? But at the same time, it's wonderful to have someone that understands. Like, I've had a few people who've sort of made comments about migraines and stuff and being like, oh, well, if you've got a migraine, how are you currently, for example, I would have a couple of people in my sort of personal life that would be like, well, if you've got a migraine, how are you be able to go live right now? And I'm like, have you not noticed that I can barely open my left eye right now? I'm in pain. I'm just very good at hiding it. And then I have taken my medication. Like I said, I've taken a sumatriptan and I've had a cup of coffee, and I can already feel that it's like when you've got a burn and you put the salve on and it just that instant relief. I've kind of got that starting to trickle in now. So it's like, I will be okay. But, because I identified it so quickly and was able to just go, no, I was able to kind of cut it off. But you know what I mean, when it's like, yay, someone who understands, but oh no, I'm so sorry. Yeah, see? Like, I love laundry. I just hate putting it away. Already said it. Got into a Voldemar world. Start with the Black Griffin. Okay, hang on. That is not how you spell Griffin. Okay, cool. I will look it up. Damn it, 1994. Sorry, one of the... Oh, wait, is it maybe 80s? In our fantasy, one of the prompts is to read a book set in the 80s, published in the 80s, so I was kind of hoping for the 80s. It's all good, but I'll still check it out. I'm going to cook rice and put leftover salmon pan thingy over it from my lunch for dinner. Nice. We had well, I don't want YouTube to censor me because it is now used as a slur, but it is a food that is also a slur towards gay people, like specifically gay men, and is also a nickname and slang for cigarettes, like the shortened version of that word. So I hope you know what I'm talking about. But it is also a food, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's essentially just like a pork mince meatball. Tradition is like pork and liver, and like I don't normally like liver, but those particular things and that particular food, when it's made in that way, I can just about tolerate it. And for someone who does have quite a severe iron deficiency, and it turns out my uncle also now has anemia, so it's kind of a fantastic source of iron for both of us. So we had that for dinner with mash and peas. And I'm so sorry if you have no idea what the food is I'm talking about. I can DM you. It's just I do not want to say it because I am aware that even though it's been used for food for hundreds and hundreds of years, it's now used as a very derogatory term and would get me censored. So I'm not going to say it. But anyway, we had that, essentially pork meatballs, pork and liver meatballs for dinner. And it sounds more disgusting than it actually was. It just tasted like very peppery pork, which honestly I'm not a big fan of, so it was fine. I had lots of mash. I like mash. I'm definitely Irish at heart. I love my potatoes. I say I'm Irish at heart because we found out that even though my granddad is Scottish, 99% of his family tree is actually Irish in origin. So we were just like, yeah, you're only a fake Scot. Read it super quick because 1, it's check, and 2, I read it a lot of time, and 3, that is very fair. I love when a book, like I found with Hannah Bonham Young, I read out on a limb and out in the woods, almost back to back over Easter, and it only took me like a day. to read each one, and they were just so easy to read. And it's like a lot of people critique, for example, V. Schwab with the Dark Shades. One of the biggest critiques I see people say about that series is that the writing is too immature and that the writing like is too underdeveloped. And I'm like, I love it because it's adult characters, an adult setting, but it's not explicit. It doesn't use, graphic stuff just for the sake of it. And the writing is so readable and easily digestible, which is why I mean, it also has characters I adore, but I love her writing because she doesn't try to overdo it. And actually, the books of hers that I've liked the least, I've still loved them. But say Addie LaRue, I absolutely loved Addie LaRue. It was 5 stars. I still want to reread it. But I will say that of all of her books, it's my least favourite for the writing style. Because that was when she did try to do the more sort of, whimsical, metaphorical, lyrical writing. And I was like, I prefer my writing and my reading to have prose that's just simple. I got a little brain. I don't need overcomplicated words. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. I find the only thing that's, if I have a headache and I can feel it going into a migraine, the only thing that will stop me having a full migraine is taking one of the triptans. If I end up going into the migraine, it's basically a case of I have to take the heavy duty painkillers that you can only be prescribed. You can't just go and buy. And I basically, it knocks me out for 2-3 days, and it's the only way that I can shift it. But yeah, if I don't do something, and if I don't do those specific things, I guaranteed will. And I don't know if any of you were around, but there was a couple of rounds ago when it was Ren and Jonah and me. We did the opening day stream, and I ended up with a migraine, but I didn't have any migraine tablets because I'd run out and I wasn't due the next batch for another like 2 weeks. And I ended up basically comatose on the sofa by the end of the sprint, and they had to finish it all off for me because I just couldn't move. And yeah, I almost went to hospital. So yeah, I fully empathize and sympathize with anyone that has head pain and struggles. It's just, I wouldn't wish it on my enemies. And there are people that I would wish some truly horrific things on, and I still would not wish this kind of pain on them. Okay, maybe one of them, but the rest, no. Oh no. Do we need to just have like a little like t-shirt that's just a little group t-shirt that we all wear at the same time, just being like, migraine pals, or like, I'm trying to think of something alliterative, like migraine members. No. Nope, that sounded more sexual. Mighty migrainers. Though I don't feel very mighty when I have one. I feel very small. Headache heroes? Headache hooligans? Okay. I'm getting sleepy. I've only done one sprint and I'm getting sleepy. Yeah, cluster headaches. When I was more as a teenager than now, as a teenager, I suffered with cluster migraines. Then it's like I'll just get really bad headaches, and then now it's kind of like when the doctors are like, oh, how in a 30-day period, how many days would you say you have active migraines? And I'm like, at least 15 of them. And they're like, oh. Ooh. So that's why I've been waiting for a neurologist for 18 months, and currently I'm not. Well, even the doctor was like, yeah, you're not safe to work, because I was having blackouts and fainting spells every single day. And it would be like I'd go into work on one day, the next day be in bed with a migraine, the next day drag myself back out of bed to go to work, and by the end of the week I'd be like unable to move. And the doctor was like, no, you can't keep doing this. So I'm on bed rest, or like, I'm on the sidelines at the minute. Anyway, fingers crossed that no one else's heads explodey. We don't want explodey heads. DNF twice already, Addy twice, and I want to love it, but I just can't. I think it helped with Addy. Well, what didn't help was a lot of people were promoting it as fantasy and were trying to like promote it and talk about it as if it was something it wasn't. And not a lot of people realize that it's more speculative and lyrical than it is sort of fantasy or plot driven. I think if I was to read it again now, I might not enjoy it as much. But what I loved about it at the time was it was more the idea of how even when, you are cursed to be forgotten, you still leave traces. And I think for me, it kind of gave a little bit of hope that I've always had it in my head that, if you don't have children to continue your lineage, or you don't do something spectacular in your life, then what is the point? I don't have that attitude now in any way, shape or form. But like growing up, that was kind of, and I know a lot of people, it's the same. That was kind of the world around me. That's what it was kind of drilled into me, that, to have a successful life, you have to have done something or procreated to continue the lineage and all of this. And I liked that her book and that Addie LaRue was basically saying that you don't need all of that, and that no matter how seemingly insignificant your actions in your life are, you will leave an impact, you will leave a mark somewhere. And I think that I loved that message that was in it, and that hit me really hard. So I think maybe that's why I loved it. I will say there is a second POV. If you haven't read it yet, we get a switch in POVs halfway-ish through the book. And I did really struggle with Henry and his side of things, because it kind of changed the book. But then it went back to Addie, and after that it was amazing again. But so if you can get past that middle sort of like 5 chapters or so, when it gets back, it's really beautiful. And I definitely preferred like the first third, but yeah, I just love the message. And I'm really, really looking forward to Bury Our Bones. I can't wait. It's my most is now my most anticipated for this year, because my actual most anticipated book, not only of this year, but probably of my life ever, has been pushed back a year. And as much as I appreciate why, God damn it, why? And for those who don't know, I think for some of you, most of you already do know, but those of you who don't know, it's Agent Thomas, the sequel to Cemetery Boys. And Julianne is my like all-time favorite character of like the last sort of 5 to 10 years. And just, I was so gutted, because we got the blurb and we got the cover and it's centric to him and it focuses on him. I was just like, God damn it. So yeah, but now Bury Our Bones is my most anticipated. Also, Migraine Mages, I like it. I'm going to have a thing, because one thing that I haven't like formally, I kind of announced it in the update video that I'm going to be doing. But one thing that I am hoping to start doing is a bit of merch, maybe like Adventurerathon merch, but I'm also going to be doing some generic stuff that's relevant to my channel. So, where I'm always talking about, TBRs are made to be broken has kind of become a little bit of a catchphrase. I know it's not only me that says it, but it was kind of, I was the first person that I was aware of saying it, and it has kind of become a phrase associated with my channel. Even my book club for the Patreon was like, TBRs are made to be broken. So I'd like to do some merchy bits there. I want to do some merch for Adventurerathon eventually. And I'm collecting these little ideas, like, you know, migraine mages, things like that, to maybe think about doing some stuff around that, because I'm very aware that a lot of us within my community and within this little space and that have joined Adventurerathon, I'm very aware many of us have got chronic plagues in our bodies, and we've got chronic issues. And I don't just mean because we're all a bit insane. Most of us have got bodies that don't want to work. So I thought it'd be nice to have some merch or something. I don't know. Any ideas, if anyone has any? Like, you know, always happy for ideas. I promise I will shut up and we will get on to another sprint very soon. Yeah, absolutely. Like, I fully get that. I read it, I didn't audiobook it, but I very much find some books I would not be able to read if it wasn't for the audiobook. So, yeah. Like, I think Murderbot, I don't think I would have enjoyed it if I'd have read it. I think the audiobook is what made me love it so much. And I've had a couple of books like that, which is really annoying that this year I've not listened to a single audiobook. And I'm like, why? I mean, I did start one a couple of nights ago, so hopefully I'll get that done this week. We shall see. Yeah, well, I mean, it's my all-time favorite YA, and I think, like, adult authors, we all know Nalini Singh, V.U. Schwab, Sebastian de Castell, they're like my sort of goats. But for YA books and YA literature, Aidan Thomas. Absolute, hands down, it's Aidan Thomas. Marissa Meyer is getting up there. I've read the Lunar Chronicles and I have started Renegades, and so I think she's very much got potential. But I've not really got a lot of YA authors that I've read multiple books from. Oh, C.S. Pacat, she's kind of both, because she's done YA and adult, and anything I've picked up with the name C.S. Pacat on the cover, I have loved. And I'm like, in my little system, I've only got to read one more thing by her before she becomes an all-time favorite auto-buy author. Yeah, it's going to be so good. Because it's like following Julian, and he ends up with repercussions of the things that have happened in the first book. And I'm just like, oh, the angst and the torment. And it's going to have Luca, his friend, that like ended up teaming up with Maritza and Yadriel. I am shocked I'm remembering. It tells you how much I love the books, because I am terrible at remembering names normally. But it has his friend comes into it and is in trouble, and I'm like, just, I cannot wait. I'm gonna probably end up sobbing. And I really hope that they bring back Avi Raquez. I can't do it. I can't speak with the Spanish. Like, I can't roll my R's, so I can't say it properly. But Avi Raquez, who is the audiobook narrator, I really hope they bring him back as well, because, oh, so good. Yes, exactly. Yeah, like, I'm so sorry. Yeah, right. And I think it's like a little bit later as well. So like Luca's a little bit older, and they're all sort of like, you know, 17, 18 now, as opposed to like 16. Just it's gonna break me, and I'm here for it. Yeah. Like when therapists are like, oh, do you you know, I'm not trying to be insensitive in any way, shape, or form to any sort of situation, but it just kind of makes me have a bit of a giggle, and you have to laugh sometimes. But it's like when a therapist is like, do you participate in any form of, like, you know, hurting yourself or doing things? Like, yes, I read books and I put myself through emotional pain deliberately. And I traumatize myself on a weekly basis. You know, it's that kind of thing. Like, I am going to probably end up just destroyed, and I can't wait. probably says a lot about my sanity right now. But I'm hoping like you guys get that and that I've not just said something really, really bad, but you know, it's that kind of thing. It's like, no, I don't need to because I read books and that hurts me enough. Like I don't want to add to that, thank you. Yeah. Oh, the kitty's upside down snoring. She's like curled herself into a little roll, like a cinnamon roll, and like her head is tilted in such a way that she's like just like I can hear this tiny little pop every time she breathes out. It's so adorable. I love her so much. Anyway, I need to stop talking about the cat and I'm gonna get on to our next sprint. Yeah, right. See, I'm glad someone gets it and I'm not just oh no, I'm not on my own. But yeah, just like all the feels, all the pain. Like it's like books are therapy, but books also cause you to need therapy. Oh, that was a really nice breeze. Can we have more of that, please? There was just like a sudden gust of wind. It's like, oh, that was really nice and cool. So I think we are finally starting to cool down a bit. But the according to the lightning map, it's getting a little bit closer. So I reckon by the end of this sprint, we'll probably have a bit of lightning or thunder. There's one of the pollen I was talking about. Right, okay. Let's get back to do some reading or productivity or what else it is that you guys would like to get up to. In case I fall asleep, thanks for hosting today, Kirsty. Feel better. You too, Christina. Sleep well, because yeah, it's like quite late for you now. I'm very aware it's. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's late. You should sleep. Rest up, and I'll speak to you next time. All right. Oh, can we get this right without faffing? Probably not. No. Oh, I stopped screen sharing. That's why it's not coming up. Ha. Ha. Who needs Jonah when I am chaos on my own? Right? I need that to be the other way around. There we go. Okay. I'll just give it a few more seconds for any more to come. Right. Yeah. I always get confused whether you are American side of things or like Australia, New Zealand side. And I think I get you and Jess in my brain confused. So I keep thinking that you're in New Zealand and then Jess is in America or Canada or some like that part of the world. And then I get, yeah. Okay. Go for a nap then. Go for a little lie down or a sleep if you need it. Do what your body says to do. And for the rest of us, we're going to sprint. I'll see you in 45 minutes. It's right there on the screen. Why could I not read that? See you soon. think I got it that time. Hi. So how did we get on? How did we do? I am very happy to report that my early intervention methods have worked this time. I'm still a bit like squinty in my left eye and I'm still a bit stabby, but I kind of refer to it when a migraine is coming on as like a big cloak has just been dragged over my brain and is now like sort of being wrapped and tightened. And it's now gone from having like the cloak coming over and tightening to it's now kind of lifted a bit. So that's fantastic. Does probably mean now though that with the caffeine I'm either going to sleep really, really well tonight or I'm going to be up all night now. But in that sprint, all of the signs were there and it happened. We started to get rain about 5 minutes ago. We've had a couple of flashes, a couple of grumblings, nothing too spectacular yet, but enough that I was like, the scene from Brooklyn Nine-Nine with the like validation kind of had that because I was like, I knew it. I mean, my brain could have, not thrown a tantrum as the warning, but as soon as I felt it, I was like, I think we're going to be in for a storm, considering what the weather's been doing. And hey, we've now got storm-like weather, but it means that I've got in the comments, but it means that we now have that really beautiful smell with the petrichor, where it's like hot concrete and then fresh rain when it's been, I love it. In terms of like reading productivity, I read another 20 pages of Prince and Assassin, and there are these amazing creatures called fell cats. And like anytime I see the word fell, I think of World of Warcraft and the fell, which is like this really evil magic. So I was kind of like, oh, are these going to be like that kind of magic and that kind of thing? But they're not. They're just basically like almost black tigers or colored. Like one of them is blue, one of them is green. And I'm now picturing, similar to World of Warcraft, I'm picturing some of the creatures that are there where they're like, black base with like sort of green stripes, and they look so freaking cool. And that's what I'm picturing with these, is basically a jaguar or a black tiger with like colored stripes. That's what I'm picturing. But one of them, there's two in here. One of them is telekinetic, one of them is telepathic and can sort of talk to you. If you speak the right language, which our main character does. And so, yeah, we've had a couple of interactions now. We've had these cats introduced and they've been gifted to the prince. And Will is the only one so far that knows how to like talk to them and is like, hey, they're about to break themselves free and basically kill everyone here. You might want to do something about that. And the prince is like, yeah, you're probably right. Only the prince has also, during this party, ingested a substance that kind of makes you want to smash. And he's kind of like, this new guard is really fit. And of course, the new guard notices that something's not right with the prince. And the prince is like, yeah, I got to go because and he's like, well, something's clearly wrong. And then eventually the prince is like, I drank the aphrodisiac. Let me go. And he's like, oh. So yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. I've had a couple of like sniggery moments. I'm really liking the characterizations so far. I probably will read a bit more tonight. I am hoping to try and get to about page 100 if I can by the end of today. That would be great. So yeah, I did that, and then the last sort of 10 minutes or so, I've carried on editing my video, and I'm like 10 minutes out. I said earlier that the footage was 18 minutes. It wasn't, it was 28. So I've now got it down to 24 minutes. So, and I've still got like 16 minutes to edit. So I reckon it should be just under 20 minutes by the time I'm done, which will be great. So yeah, I feel like that was actually pretty productive, considering especially I've been awake since like 6:30 this morning. Like I naturally woke up at that time because I slept so much yesterday. My brain was just like, can we just get up, please? So, I've been up since 6:30. So I am pretty much at the end of my day and at the end of my energy reserves. So I feel like I've done pretty well. Anyway, Christina confirmed that she is US. I don't know why my brain just keeps thinking that Christina is in the same part of the world as like the Aussies and New Zealanders. And then just as we mentioned her, Jess popped up. And I was like, we summoned you. Woohoo. I mean, being trapped by a cat, there are worse ways to go. Isn't that right? You want to come say hi? She might hate me for this. I might be about to get yelled at. Hi. Oh, she's purring. She's not happy with that. Could you get your paw out my throat? Because she's too pretty. You're pretty. Oh, that look on that face was, I am going to murder you in your sleep. And she's immediately run off. I'm in trouble. Wait, where'd she go? Yeah. She gone. I upset the kitty. But reading How to Survive a Horror Story, is that Grady Hendricks? No, I'm probably completely thinking of the wrong thing. But anyway, I hope you're enjoying your read. Jonah is back, but kind of not fully back, because I messaged him and I was like, hey, come join me for like the final sprint. But he's, as you can see, he's busy. Where did it go? Yeah. Like, I can't, we're about to have a movie night. And it's like, he has reasons and it's fine. How dare he have plans on the same day that Adventurerathon launches? Because, Adventurerathon, just clearly he doesn't prioritize and that it's not important to him. Yeah, Levy got excited. But Jonah did read his minimum of 68 pages of Ruin today, so that's a success. Isn't that like not even, do I want to say it because you might hate me, but I'm like, isn't that not even 10% of the book? Is that one of those 800 page plus things? Like, I really hope it's doing better for you, because there's nothing worse than pushing through such huge tomes only to find that they're shit. And you're like, why did I waste my life? Jess causing chaos, saying, immediately coming in being like, who cares about movie night? Come join. But nah, Jonah has very special visitors, and I would never try and butt into family time. Yes. Good weekend, peoples. Yes, I am. Chelsea from Chelsea Zhao bought it for me for Christmas, and she was saying that she really enjoyed it, and I have promised her that I will get to it, so I am getting to it, which is awesome. It's like, holy crap, someone bought me a book and I'm reading it, and it's not been 2-3 years. Witchcraft, sorcery. But yeah, I'm actually having, what I say right now, it's 5 stars. No, sometimes I just know with a book that it's like, I'm reading one at the minute that I am pretty convinced already is going to be 5 stars. And I'm reading another one that I'm like, this is going to be a 4 to 4.5, if not a 5. And, sometimes you just know. Whereas this one, I'm like, I can see it being a 4, 4.5. Currently not quite at the 5 star, but going based off the first few chapters and how I reckon it's going to go, or how I would like to see it go, I reckon it's going to be like 4, 4.5. So definitely having a great time. And the inclusion of magical cats, that's always a bonus. Why are you sitting in the rain? Why are you dumb? She's come back in like, I wasn't in the rain. What are you talking about? Oh, there she goes. Bye. Oh, she's gone. Haven't read anything, nor have I made my dinner because one word wolves. I need more context. Is this wolves as in like there are wolves outside your house? Because I know where you live and I'm sure there's wolves in your country. Unless I'm thinking the wrong part of Europe. Wolves is more Estonia. Anyway, moving on. Or is there like some way you're rewatching Twilight, aren't you? Just why did wolves distract you? Please go eat. The wolves will still be there when you get back. Yeah. I was like I said earlier, it just seems to be that I'm like good and bad cursed. It's good because I love thunderstorms. Thunderstorms and snow are my two favorite types of weather. Unfortunately, with thunderstorms always comes a really rough time with my head. Certainly in the build up to them. Once they're here and once they've gone, I seem to be okay. But that build up, when the air goes really hot and sticky and heavy, I just end up so not great. And I was just like, of course, I'm doing reading sprints and we get rain and storms. The only thing it hasn't done is cut out. Oh, no, I better not say that because it will. About halfway through the book, woohoo! Yes, I'm very relieved. Like it's still hurting and I'm still like a bit fuzzy in the corner of my eyes and my eyes are a bit blurry from it, but you know, the actual like the pain that normally would make me go I can't continue sprinting, like that's subsided enough that I can do one more. What song? What song? What song? What did I say? Uh did I sing something? Did I? I'm so confused. What song? Finished Gemina, started Obsidio. Awesome. Oof. Yeah, I'm also aware as well when I say the meds are working with what I'm saying now, it's more like a little band-aid. I've just put a temporary band-aid on it and like the pain is still very much present. It's just I've numbed it enough that I can keep going. But as soon as we are done, I will be going to bed. I will be taking the heavy duty meds and, you know, passing out for the next day. Because tomorrow I don't have any plans. I've got one thing that I need to do at about 12:30 and I'll be back home by 1 o'clock and then I can just crash out. Yes, but willingly. It's a thing that they have called I can't remember the name of it. Da, 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 da. Night Rose. And it's like a thing that the wine like they have two different wines and it's optional, so it's not like you're being roofied. It is genuinely like, I mean, people do get roofied in it, but it's apparently one of these things where, you know, like in real life, in sort of like the olden days, it wasn't uncommon to, you know, casually at gatherings, certainly for the aristocracy, it wasn't uncommon for them to all partake in, you know, putting stuff up noses. I guess it's kind of the same here, where it's kind of, if you go to one of these parties, you're probably going to indulge in stuff that you might not do on a regular basis. My neighbours are starting to flare up again. But yeah, essentially. But it was self-inflicted. Self-inflicted. He chose to do it himself. And then he had full intentions of going back to his chambers with someone else, got sidetracked by what was going on with the other one, and kind of ended up in a broom closet with his hand for company. So it's intriguing so far. My old obsession with wolves is back in general. Ah, that's fair. And yes, I did know because, like I was saying, I know your country and I'm pretty sure they've got wolves because I think it was around about when I finished my studies. But like one of my sort of special interests in the early days of my degree was wolves, and I did get accepted to join one of the research programs in Canada, working with the legendary David Meach, who is like global wolf researcher extraordinaire. He's like the god amongst wolf conservationists, and or so he certainly was back then. Unfortunately, we weren't able to quite raise enough funds, so I didn't end up going. However, like, you know, whatever, like, yeah, I was absolutely obsessed, but I'm still the idea of rewilding. It's my favorite part of doing ecology and conservation, like rewilding and sort of habitat management. And I love going to even like my garden now. I look at it some days and I can picture 7 or 8 different things that I could immediately do if I had the money and the ability that I could easily do to, like, increase its conservation value. And I just love that. So, learning about rewilding and where wolves are starting to reintroduce themselves, I'm just like, this is incredible. And it's a special interest. I could go into a big, I'm not going to, but I could put together like a 6-hour presentation on it. It's such a fascination for me. The beans. She does have the beans. She has very cute beans. Some of her beans are black as well, which I think is so cute because, like, being a tuxedo cat, she ends up with little black paw pads. I love it. She's so cute. She really is. Cousin, not mum. My uncle is technically her dad, so we go by I'm her cousin. She's my little fur cousin. I don't have any fur babies of my own anymore. I miss being a mama. But what my uncle said, if I'm still living here when she passes, because she's just turned 16, and it's like if she passes and I'm still living here, which quite likely I will be, then he wants to adopt like a couple of cats. And I was like, can I also, like, if he gets 2, can I get my own? I'm introduce them all together. And he was like, fine. So, like, I'll keep her for now. And like, I'm not like willing her to, but when the time does come, I won't be a mama, a fur baby mama again. Ah, right. Okay. I think there's like 2 or 3 books with similar titles, and I always get confused which author belongs to which book. I think 1st of May, pretty universally, in sort of like European, North American. I'm not sure about Jess. You can confirm for New Zealand, Australia. Like May the 1st is pretty much, I think, universally a sort of either bank holiday or a holiday. Like in the pagan festival calendar, it's Beltane, right? Like today. And certainly in the UK, the reason May Day became a thing is because when the early roots of Christianity were like, hey, we don't want this pagan plague in our country anymore, so we're going to take over their celebrations and make our own thing of it. And Beltane became May Day. Again, another special interest that I could do a big 3-hour lecture on, but I won't. But yeah, like I'm aware that most places I'm aware of, or a lot of places I'm aware of, May Day is a thing. Like we had bank holiday. I think it was a bank holiday today, or it's on Monday. Like even though May the 1st is like the main day, the bank holiday. I need to check this because I don't work. Bank holidays don't mean anything to me anymore. Like, it's annoying. Yes, so today is May Day, but the bank holiday is on Monday because it's always bank holiday Monday for us. How many pages is it? That's one of his chunkier books, isn't it? Exactly 10% into the book. Averaged it out and through 68 pages a day. I finished on the day of the live show. Ah, that is fair. Well, I hope you have a better time with it this time. My thingy did bleeped. Ooh, we have a new adventurer join. Hi! Someone joined the Adventurerathon Discord while we're doing the live. So, hi, welcome. Basically, this is what I do anytime a new adventurer drops off in the Discord. No matter where I am or what I'm doing, I will see it and I will sit there or stand there and I'll just be like, hi, even if I'm not live. It's a programmed into me thing. Prince and Assassin. Yeah, it's the first book in the series. Oh, at least you can't say that I put the song in your head because I was singing it, because I hate that song. And thank you very much, Jonah. That's now going to be in my head. Oh, the rain stopped, so she's back out. She's no longer sitting in the rain. She's walking in the rain. I'm walking in the rain. Why do human beings need to eat? Why can't I just get new mood? Absolute mood. I certainly on a day where I'm struggling to like want to eat, I'm just like, why can't I just, why can't my daily nutrients just be in one milkshake or something and I just drink it and we're done? And it makes you feel full. Or why can't I just take a tablet that, just makes you feel full and is done for the entire day whilst giving you all the nutrients? Like that would just make life so much easier. It's like one of my favorite episodes of Family Guy is no, American Dad. I used to watch it years ago. And there was one where they had a tablet, a pill that replaced sleep. And it meant that you got all the effects of sleep. You just didn't need to actually sleep. And I was like, oh, like if it was optional to sleep or not, that'd be great on the days where I just don't want to go to bed or I want to keep working, or some days I'm scared to sleep because, medical family history, trauma of people dying young. Some days I'm just like, I don't want to go to sleep because I'm scared I'm not going to wake up. It's a whole thing that I'm going to be talking to the therapist about. But, to be able to have an option to just take a pill and not have to worry and not have to sleep and have no detrimental effects. Why can't we have these things? Why can't we be that advanced? Valid point. But you still get sun in winter. It's just not every day. Like maybe like if you get it from the UV, because even when it's cloudy and overcast, there's still UV. Maybe. I knew there was something to do with Twilight and wolves. You were saying about something, but yes, yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Oh, it's not a musical I know, and it's not a song I know. If you, yeah, see, you get dregs of sunlight. Oh God. Could you imagine if humankind learnt to photosynthesize? That would be odd. We'd all be plant sims. I've never watched Teen Wolf. Never really. Werewolves and vampires had like a brief moment where I kind of liked them back in like I will say it, the Twilight days, because, my age bracket, sort of the early to mid 30s. I'd say mid 20s to early 30s, actually. Like, we were kind of that generation that were reading them as they were first released. So we were like the first generation of those. It's amazing the things that when you think about that are still huge today. And it's like my generation from like the very early 1990s, we were that intended generation. So, you know, Pokemon, we were the first generation of that. You've got Twilight and other associated fandoms that we, you know, don't support. But we've got those where, again, we were the first generation. We were the ones that were responsible for these things becoming what they are today. And I sometimes sit back and I'm like, I'm kind of proud of us. But yeah, Teen Wolf was one that kind of just. True. Oh, now I'm picturing what's her face from Monsters Inc. Where she's like, I'm watching you, Wazowski, always watching. You know that one? Like, see, I got you with the song, you got me with that now. Now I really want to watch Monsters Inc. But I have too much to get done today. Please eat. Please get food. Please don't, like, die. Okay, Christina, I really hope that your headache and things like that settle down and that kiddos are all behaving and being nice to you. But thank you so much for joining. I think I was going to do like a final half-hour sprint just to wrap the night up, but I'm like, do you know what? I did say these were only going to be shorter sprints, and I did say that we probably wouldn't get that many done. And I wanted to finish at 9, and it's now 9. So I think I am going to just like get through these last these last comments. And, you know, I can then properly deal with my head, go lie down, go read a bit more. I think that's better than pushing through. Plus, we've got Sunday. True. Jonah has many hobbies. Jonah is the hobby. You don't observe people? Have you never played that game, like when you go into a cafe and you just watch people coming in and you just sort of try and come up with backstories and like, oh, why are they here and who are they? And, you know, you come up with outlandish backstories. I love doing that. I also used to try and be Sherlock when I was younger and be like, let's see what I can deduce about these people. I was nearly always wrong, but I tried. Ah. See? You watch people and you make notes and save it for future characters. Oh, yeah. I knew that. I knew that. Your holidays are the other way around. Like, I still, in my brain, I cannot get to grips. Like, Christmas being in summer was one thing, but Yule being in the middle of summer, just my brain was like, what the like it made no sense to me. Like, I don't understand. Because, like, yeah. What is it? Oh no. Yeah. Just checking. That's it. So the one that always gets me in like the southern hemisphere is Ostara or Ostara, however you pronounce it. But like the one that we've just had, aka Easter, and in the northern, like it's the same sort of spring, but it's just because it's at different times of year. It's so weird for me that it's in September down south and in March up. It just hemispheres are confusing and weird. They're worse than time zones, to be perfectly honest. Oh yeah, same here. None of the pagan holidays are recognized officially. It's just that like the celebrations that are the things now, so like Christmas, that was Yule and was taken over by that. There's Easter is Ostara. Again, it's fallen at that time of year, and there's a lot of pretty much every pagan, like in the wheel of the year, every pagan festival has a counterpart that was sort of created and developed as a method to stomp out paganism, especially in the UK. It was a really big thing, sort of like 800 years ago, possibly more. And yeah, it's like this whole big thing. I went down this massive rabbit hole about it about 10 or so years ago, and I can remember some, not all. Oy. Yeah, no, I think the biggest book I've got on my shelf right now is 600 and something pages. And every time I've got The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson that arrived last month, that's like 660, I think. And then The Plated Prisoner, book 5, gold, is I think 660 or something like that. And I'm like, that's enough slices. I'm done. Thank you. Bye bye. Aw, you'd be a trash panda. But no, raccoons are cool. That is fair. Like, whatever gets people into reading, I will never judge. Like, you know, I won't judge what gets people into reading. I mean, I'll judge what you read after you get into reading, but I won't judge what you read to get into it. Trying to think of mine. I don't think it was sort of film and TV that got me into reading. It was reading that then followed into film and TV, because I remember like reading the famous 5 books before, and I was reading those from about the age of 7 or 8. Yeah, I don't, and like a lot of Enid Blyton books I was reading very young, but TV, the first kind of obsession that I really had with TV, and the first kind of thing that was a crossover, was probably Twilight. And I was already well established as a reader by that point, so I'm not really sure what got me into reading. I just think I've always been a reader. My mum was very big on reading and getting us to read. Oh yeah, we had fandom. I think we were kind of the generation that kick-started, like, you know, I say my mum's generation, they were the ones that started with bands and fandoms and fangirling for music, and like, you know, groupies and stuff like that. That was very much like, you know, the 1950s, 1960s generation, no, 60s and 70s generation. Whereas I find that our generation, we were the kind of the taking books, TV, and media. We were like the media fandom, and so, like you said, we were the ones that went wild with fanfics. We were the ones that, because even though fanfictions existed, it didn't blow up until. But it also coincides that obviously our generation was also the generation that grew up with the first generation to grow up with internet. So I think that's had a lot to do with it as well. So yeah, we were very much the just throw it out there and see what sticks. Whereas nowadays, we did the experimenting. Now they've kind of taken it and gone, right, okay, we know what we shouldn't now do. Only, like you say, they take it a bit too far. Like, absolutely. Like, no worries. Thank you for being here. Oh no. I mean, I kind of was okay with some policing. Like, I have absolutely never understood or backed the idea of Wincest from Supernatural. I'm like, no, that has never been, never will be okay. And I kind of don't mind that one being kind of policed and been like, get the hose, that person or get the handcuffs, although they might enjoy it too much. But it's just kind of like a no, cool it down, back up. And like, who was it? Something recently, someone was talking about Quizilla. Like, does anyone remember Quizilla and the shit that we did? Like the stuff that we got up to on Quizilla. I am infinitely grateful that everything has been wiped from those servers because dear holy Jesus shit. I would never want to see the stuff that I wrote on there ever see the light of day ever again. Just although some of my all-time favorite stories that I still would occasionally get a real craving to reread are still like they were on there. So obviously they're now gone, but I'm like, oh, they're so good. But yeah, just Quizilla was a time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you clearly were not in the right generation. When I grow up, I want to be a creepy granddad who watches you through the show. Jonah, I hate to break it to you. You already are. You're just in a young person's body, but you are. Who are you going to watch? Everyone. I do not even apologize for that. Duplicate? Clone? Clone yourself, I think might be the word. Let me know. You should have a t-shirt. I am Trash Panda. Ooh. No, I would have just quit the readathon there and then. I'm not doing that. If I'm gonna read a book over 1,000 pages, I am taking my time and I am not being pressured to rush. Just nah. Ferrets. I compare myself to a cat a lot. I feel like I have a lot of cat energy because I really like to sleep and nap. I don't like to be touched. Like I love affection, but I don't. I love affection. I love attention. I love cuddles and snuggles, but only when I ask for them. I don't like to just be given them. I'm like, no way. That's a mosquito. No. That was a mosquito. That gets shut. Oh, 2 seconds. Hey, come on. Come on. I shut the door and then I look down and she's going, why did you shut the door on me? Oh, she's outside. Oh, bless her. I love her. She's so cute. But yeah, I feel like if I am any animal, I am a cat or I'm a bear because I am grouchy as all holy hells. But I'm also extremely protective. I am very defensive over people. I will tear you a new one and I will go into your house and eat everything that you leave out if you're not careful. So, yeah, I've always kind of I've always been more drawn to cats. I've always been drawn to like barn owls as well. But I think if I was an animal and if someone said, oh, you have to become an animal, what would you be? It would probably be a bear. But if anyone else has any animals that you think I might be, let me know. That would be interesting. Just don't call me a snake or a spider, please. Because mean and ew. I mean, snakes are great, but spiders, no. No. Right, okay. Animorphs. I never read those. I know, like, I can picture them. And I remember them always being on the shelves in like the school library and the local library. They were like really prominently featured, especially when they first came out. I just never got drawn to them. I think I was more like at that stage, I was more into, I think that was about the time that I started to get into like Goosebumps and point horror. and then eventually I got into manga. It's so weird with how I am with horror now. Yeah, as a kid, I used to love Goosebumps and Point Horror. They were like my favorite books. I would read them over and over and over again. And yet now, reading and watching horror is kind of a no-go for me, but I think it's because I've said in the past, when I do watch and read those kind of things, I have really vivid, like ultra HD 4K nightmares and night terrors. So I probably should just avoid them. Jonah Ferret. Okay. See you. You've probably already gone. But bye. Let us know what the film is if you're still here. Yeah. Just I don't that's it's kind of like, I'm very big on K-pop. One of the things that makes me very uncomfortable is when people start writing fan fiction about the K-pop artists and like having them in relationships and things. And I'm like, these are real. Like, there's certain taboo subjects like, incest. And then with things like with K-pop, I'm like, these are real people and we don't know their sexual identities. And you guys believe this to be fact, and it's like, no, 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 they are curating these personalities to show us. They're not. It just really annoys me. The only time that I think K-pop fanfics are okay is if you are writing about the lore, because a lot of K-pop groups have like a storyline that their songs and music videos are saying. So like one of my ultimate groups is called The Kingdom, and their lore and story and concept is that each of the members represents a king from a period of time. So we've got King Arthur, King Ivan, etc. And each of them has been pulled from their time and they're now trapped in our time with no memory of who they are except King Louis. That I am fully on board with fanfic for that, as long as it doesn't go down like the romantic route, because then it's like, no, then you're starting to play with that's you putting the members together. But when you're just focusing on like their characters as the kings and that story, go for it. Amazing. I want to read that. But I accidentally stumbled across a couple of fanfics when I first started getting into K-pop, and I was like, this makes me highly uncomfortable. I don't like this. Mm-mm. Duplicate. Right. Awesome. Got it. Woo! Black cover. At least you're not reading all that and then going, oh no. That is fair. I mean, even if you don't do any others, I think that's a pretty impressive one to do. Wolf? I mean, when I was younger, I wanted to be a wolf, but then I kind of was like, oh, I'm too cool to be a wolf, Like, I don't want to be like everyone else. And I think it was around about that time that I was like, right, let's think about things that aren't your stereotypical. Like, they're not your wolves, they're not your eagles, they're not your because I remember back then everyone at school was like, I'm a wolf, or I'm an eagle, or I'm an owl, or I'm a raven. And I was like, I want to be a bear. I just want to eat a shit ton, sleep for 6 months in a year, wake up and do it all again. What's not to love? I mean, no one tells bears that they're too fat. Oh, I mean, a hedgehog would be absolutely adorable. They're not my spirit animal, but they are one of my absolute. When I was doing my master's degree, bats and hedgehogs were the primary focus of my research. And I spoke at a couple of conferences about hedgehog research and current trends. And I would like to get a tattoo with a little hedgehog, either their footprints or a little hedgehog somewhere. I haven't decided exactly what I want yet. Like, that would be awesome. Wow. Like, snakes, okay, they are pretty cool, but spiders just, no. I am so, so grateful that I saw the grand total of one spider, or consciously saw one spider, and it in Australia, and it wasn't even that big. So Like, it freaked me out because of how quick it ran, and it was definitely bigger than the ones we get over here, but it wasn't like the sizes I was expecting, and I was like, okay. Dragon. Yeah, that was another one that a lot of people wanted to be, but I've never really been attracted to dragons. I've mentioned this in videos before where it's like, you know, so many fantasy books, when they use mythical creatures, they divert to dragons, and I'm like, there are so many more. Can we stop being why are we obsessed with dragons? I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. And horse, yeah. A lot of people liked horses as a teenager. Literally, you are currently the last comment, and we are going to be finishing. I was going to push through and do one more sprint, but I'm like, I'm too tired now. I kind of want to curl up in bed and read. But thank you for coming back. I hope your meeting went well, and that you're not feeling too emotionally and drained. I keep thinking that there's a bit of hair sticking out and going like this, and it's not. It's the fan in the background where it's spinning. The light keeps catching it, so it's like similar to my hair. So I keep doing that to move my hair out the way, and it's not. Oh, the rain's back. Okay, yeah, the rain is back. It's gone hot again, and now I'm just like, so yeah, we're going to end there. I'll give it a few more seconds for any more comments to come through. Cows and goats and sheeps. Nice. Very sort of farmyardy, like, not umbral. Ungulate. Because all of those are... Yes, I am right. No. Bovidae. Bovids. Wow, I should have known that without checking. I mean, I knew something. I just couldn't remember the exact. Yes. I'm really glad the meeting went well. Awesome. Yes, Levy, it's like 20 past 10. Please go and bloody eat. What are we going to do with you? And yeah, thank you to everyone for joining. Whether this was your first time sprinting with me or, you know, you're a regular, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for the company. Otherwise, I would just be awkwardly talking to a blank screen. But yeah, I hope that your first day of doing Adventurerathon has gone well. And even if you've not finished your first book yet, I hope you've made progress. Like I said, I am now 50 pages in, and it's 275 pages. So if I get to page 100 tonight, I should be able, in theory, to get it done by the time we sprint on Sunday. So, like I said, I can get on and do Promise of Blood with Jonah. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for joining. Absolutely, because that's what Howell's meeting was about. So I fully support this statement. And I think that this is, and especially with the bullshit that is going on in the UK right now, I'm going to leave this up as I say goodbye, because I think this is a perfect message. So, trans rights forever. Happy Adventurerathon. Thank you so much for joining in. And I have so much love for all of you. And I will see you on the... Wait, I'm not ending this in the right way. I hope you're all good. I hope you're staying safe. And I will see you on